Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, 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 1, 2. Mm-hmm. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We gotta talk about it. Oh, we gotta talk about it. 1 minute. Everybody get up in here, man. We about to go up. All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. One minute and counting. Bam. Straight up 8. Straight up 8. Well, man. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the P-Ave Perspective. As usual, I'm your host, Mr. O'Neill, and I thank y'all for tuning in. Whether you're tuning in with me today or watching the live stream, or whether you'll be watching the video later when I post it on YouTube, I thank you for joining me. So we just gonna go on and jump right in, man. Jump right in. The title of this episode is Black Men, it's time to step up. It's time to step up. It's time to reclaim our role as leaders, fathers, mentors, and all of the above. Last week, I talked to the women. It's only right I talk to the guys, man. It's only right I talk to the guys. But, like I said, man, share the video, hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know you rocking with me, man. But, man, when it comes to black man accountability, we lacking, and we've been lacking for a long time, man. We've been lacking for a long time. And as a black man myself, I understand the history of oppression, of discrimination that the black man has had to face, man, and had to deal with. Not only from the system, but from our own people. You know what I'm saying? From slavery and Jim Crow back in the days, all the way up to the flood of cocaine into the black community and mass incarceration that came after that. We've been going through it, man. We've been going through it. Even today, you know what I'm saying? I personally feel like the media is pushing the gay and alternative lifestyle agenda on us. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're being bombarded with that now. And on top of that, I feel like a lot of our women are feeding into it. A lot of our damaged women are feeding into it by feeding into the stereotype that basically if we not acting like they want them, they want us to act, or we not doing what they feel like we should be doing as men, then something is wrong with us. We gay, or as they call it now, we zesty. So, yes, man, we have been, you know what I'm saying, dealing with a lot of issues. But at the same time, a lot of those issues fall back on our shoulders, man. A lot of the issues that we deal with fall back on our shoulders, man. And we're going to get into it today. But while I understand the obstacles that we face and all of the many personal issues that we deal with as individuals, like, it's time out for the bull, man. It's time to step up. And let me get this straight. I'm not talking to the real niggas. I'm not talking to the street niggas. I'm not talking to the hustlers. I'm talking to the men. And that's the thing about me. Before I was anything, before I consider myself anything, I consider myself a man. And this is about being a man, about doing what you know you're supposed to be doing as a man, and being accountable for what you're doing and not doing as a man. That's what this is about, man. So like I said, I'm not talking to no other subgroup. I'm talking to the men, or the aspiring men. That's who I'm talking to. Now, I'm, you know what I'm saying, share a story that I shared with my daughter, you know what I'm saying? And like many figure like this is a personal opinion, but I don't think it is, because it's right there in the book. As men, we have been mistaught that from the Bible story that women were responsible for the downfall of man. We all heard the story, you know what I'm saying? We've heard it 1,000 times, the story of Adam and Eve and the fruit, you know what I'm saying, and the whole nine. So I don't have to go deep into the story, but I want to say this off the top so we can make sure that we're on the same page as men. The crux of that story, the foundation of that story was God created man first. God created man first. God created Adam. God placed Adam in the garden. After God created Adam and placed him in the garden, God gave Adam a message. God gave Adam a message. And that message was, you can eat anything in this garden. Just don't touch that fruit right there. Do not eat fruit from that tree, or you will die. That's as simple as it gets, man. That's as simple as it gets. So after God, you know what I'm saying, made Adam, put him in the garden and gave him the commands. After that, God made a woman. We know the story. Took his rib, created a woman, blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh, all of that. But think about this. That tells a lot in the story, and it contradicts what a lot of men speak on today when they speak about that story, and a lot of people. And the main thing they got wrong was Eve didn't cause the fall of man. Adam himself caused the fall of man because Adam was influenced by Eve and chose to disregard what his God, what his creator, what his father told him to do. So I'm going to say this just like I told my daughter. Any man who feels like Eve is responsible for the destruction of man, I don't think you're a man. Because you're saying in so many words that it's her fault that Adam was influenced by her words. And it's her fault that Adam disobeyed his father. And it's her fault that Adam did something that his father told him if he did would surely kill him. So he disregarded everything his father said, and he was manipulated by a woman. Is that woman's fault? If you feel like that as a man, that it's a woman's fault for manipulating you, then you're not a man. Because just like it says in that book, it clearly states in the original text, in the old text, it clearly states God created Eve as a helper for Adam. So basically, you being the leader, you were influenced by your helper to do something that you knew you weren't supposed to be doing. That started the downfall of man. That right there, because that man, you know what I'm saying, was, number one, wasn't strong enough in what he believed in and what his father had taught him. And number two, he wasn't man enough to take responsibility when he was misled by the woman. And that's why he popped out with like, well, the woman told me to eat this and this and that third, you know. That was the fall of man. Let me get that out the way. That led to the fall of man. Man, not being a man, not being a leader, and not being accountable, man. So let's jump in. Let's jump in. The goal of this, you know what I'm saying, is to identify the problems, discuss practical solutions for black men to reclaim our roles as leaders, as fathers, mentors, and community builders, man. Community builders. Community builders. But let's jump into it, man. The first step to solving a problem is identifying it. So we're going to identify some of the problems that we deal with as men and some of the stuff that we need to work on. But the problems we face, man. The number one problems that I noticed that we faced as young men, and this is from me growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was blessed that I didn't have this problem per se, but I know so many black men from the black community who dealt with this problem. And that problem is black men have no positive role models or positive mentors. And just like I said, y'all, we take it further now. We look at social media and I'm talking about in the community. Black men that are fathers, you know what I'm saying, that raised families, that were providers, that were fathers, that were husbands, that were boyfriends, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Just like I probably said before, I can remember in my hood from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 families that I dealt with. It's only 2 fathers that I knew from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And that's my guy, Anthony and Eric Franklin Pops. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Franklin, and it's my boy Mike and Janelle dad. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Jackson. But, like, those guys weren't really out in the community. You know what I'm saying? I've had interactions with them, but they weren't really out in the community, you know what I'm saying, dealing with us as kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, I look back on that and I know they had their kids and they had their own lives. But man, it would have been probably a big help, man, just to see those guys and talk to those guys more often when we were kids, man. You know what I'm saying? To actually see them or actually, be able to talk to them, get some insight or whatever, man. But generationally, man, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it goes back to slavery, you know what I'm saying? People talk about that. I mention that, man, because that's a part of the history. But if I just keep it real with myself, I was never in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Now don't get me wrong, I was in mental slavery. I've been in mental slavery most of my life. But physical slavery, like back in the days, like we didn't go through that. And I know those issues, the learning and everything like that was passed down. I got some of that too. You know what I'm saying? But slavery is not really the big issue now because we were all born free. We were all born just like, Adam and Eve realized. We were all born, we were all given choices. We were all given the ability to make our own decisions. And a lot of us just made bad decisions, man. Let's just keep it real. But young boys growing up without guidance and examples of healthy manhood, that contributed, you know what I'm saying, to where we are now. And on top of that, you know what I'm saying, more often than not, we as kids are raised by the same women who are damaged by men. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, my mother hated men. You know what I'm saying? And I felt it. My mother had a saying, it was men and flies I do despise. But the more I see men, the more I like flies. She hated men. Men hurt her, she hated men. So not having positive role models, then having a woman that's raising you that actually hate the males, like, and so many, you know what I'm saying? So many. I have so many homeboys who the same way. Raised by moms who were abused, raised by moms who were messed over, raised by moms who, had their own issues as kids that they never dealt with. You know what I'm saying? These women are in charge of raising our kids now. And like you can look at it. Look at how they turning out. Look at how they turning out. And just like I said, like all of that plays a role in the fact that we didn't have positive role models. We didn't have positive role models. And a lot of the hurt and a lot of the not being able to do the extra when it comes to the women was because a lot of women tried to play both roles, which is impossible to me. You know what I'm saying? I still say a woman can't be a father and a man can't be a mother, but that's different. Like we talked about that before. But lack of balance, man. Lack of balance. We didn't see married men. We didn't see positive role models in the hood. We didn't get a chance to see that. Yeah, there was a few there, and like I said, I got lucky because I got a chance to talk and deal with my granddad, deal with my dad, you know what I'm saying? Even my biological dad, you know what I'm saying? He was in a committed relationship for the longest. So I got to see positive relationships. I got to see committed relationships. So I'm not gonna lie, that helped me out when it came to relationships later. But I have homeboys right now who, when they were coming up, they never saw anything but a man beating on their mom, or a man messing over their mom, or their mom trying to do it by herself with no man. So they didn't see, you know what I'm saying? They didn't get an opportunity to see how to be a dad, or how to be a stepdad, or how to be a role model, or how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even have, like, the man my mama had, he didn't even get up, you know what I'm saying, and go do nothing every day. He went up and got smoked crack. So it's like, what kind of role model is that? Somebody that get up and jump up every day and go smoke crack, you know what I'm saying, and come home and no money, no nothing. So we didn't get the role models, man. We didn't get that. We didn't get that, man. And that right there, I don't care how you look at it, how, like, we can't make excuses for that. You know what I'm saying? We can't, as a man, I can't be, or my friends, they can't be accountable for the fact that they didn't have positive role models in their life. You know what I'm saying? And that's why last week when I talked to the women, I told the women, as single mothers, it's on you to put your child in front of positive black men. It's on you know what I'm saying, to find your child a mentor. you know what I'm saying, that's balanced, that's married, that have accomplished things in life as a man. You know what I'm saying? For that man to be able to talk to, for that man to be able to watch it, you know what I'm saying? And because that's how I got a lot of the game I had. You know what I'm saying? Watching how people move, watching how people get out. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got it. So that's what, you know what I'm saying, we missing. And come on, man, like the impact of not having men in your life, imagine that. You know what I'm saying? That's no guidance. You know what I'm saying? That's no examples of healthy manhood. You know what I'm saying? That's, like I said, man, we left our kids to be raised by women who were mentally and emotionally damaged, that from men, the men that came before us with the lies, with the cheating, and the other bull that they had to go through, man. So one of the most important issues for us as black men today, and think about this, because we are also looking back at the youth. So if we didn't have positive role models, what do the youth have today? Because we are not positive role models. Let's just keep it real. I'm just getting to the point where I feel like I'm a positive role model. I'm just getting to that point, and I'm 52 years old. So that's the business, man. That is the business. But the number two problem that has hindered us as black men is systematic barriers, man. Hey, man, I go through it all the time, but just like I said, one of the biggest systematic barriers that I had to face in my lifetime was the crack cocaine epidemic. And that was crucial to us because it took away parents. I always stress that because, like, you can never fully understand a child that was raised with literally no parents. So, like I said, I went through that. You know what I'm saying? I had my parent there, but just like I said, my parent wasn't there because my parent worked most of the time. So I basically had to raise myself and raise my little kid, my sisters. But that was a product of the environment. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that, man. Imagine those kids, you know what I'm saying, losing their parents and having to fend for themselves. Just like I said, the ones that didn't end up in the system, they was on the streets. So that led to, you know what I'm saying, dropping out. That led to us men dropping out. A lot of us got into selling drugs and selling crack, smoking crack, you know what I'm saying, and doing all kind of other stuff. And at the time, we were making it because we were making a way. We felt like we had figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Like we went from nothing to like we got this crack, now we slanging this crack and we having everything. But in the process of having everything in the hood, we gave up education because most of us dropped out of school. You know what I'm saying? We gave up, you know what I'm saying? Ended up in prison. We started filling up the prisons. So think about it. You know what I'm saying? That time period right there created a generation of uneducated, unskilled, convicted felons who were mentally disturbed. Who were mentally disturbed. We couldn't even function in the real world. Our attitudes, our mentality, that hood shit, that is not making it in the real world, man. That's why we end up in prison, so much of us, because we got that hood mentality. That's not built for the world. You can't take that hood mentality and become successful in life, because that hood mentality, I tell people, that hood mentality is based on survival. It is not based on thriving. It is not based on winning. It is like focused on trying to survive, trying to live from one day to the next. That's a totally different mindset. So the systematic barriers, man, they had a bad impact on us. They had a bad impact on us. But let me say this, because I always have to say this when I talk about the drug epidemic. Man, when I chose to sell drugs, regardless of what the excuse was, regardless of what
The reasoning was, when I decided to sell drugs, I decided to sell drugs, man. I didn't have to. I could have kept doing bad. I could have did like other people that I know that said, I'm not going to get into nothing illegal. I'm going to wait till I'm old enough to get a job, and I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to do this. I say this because we have to take accountability for our choices and our decisions, man. I made the choice to go sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? I could have stayed at home and dealt with having the lights turned off, you know what I'm saying, randomly, having the water turned off randomly, having my mother fight, you know what I'm saying, her boyfriend over money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have just said, okay, forget it. I'm going to block that out. And I'm going to just use that as motivation to push me to do better, man. But I didn't. I made a choice to say, I got to get out here and make some money, man. My mother never told me she needed no help. I looked at the situation, you know what I'm saying, and said, I need the help, because that's how I was taught even as a young man. To look out for your people, man. To protect your people. And look out for your people when you can. And that's what I was on. I always been on it. So that's what I'm saying. It's the impact, just like I said, man, the impact of the systematic barriers left us uneducated, unskilled to go get a job. You know, all we know how to do is hustle. And a lot of us don't know how to do that, because I keep telling people, drugs sell themselves. You don't have to sell drugs. You being a drug dealer, that was nothing amazing. But, like I say, man, systematic barriers. That's another issue that we still deal with today. The system is still stacked against us. But, just like I told you, man, you're going to fold or you're going to drop your nuts. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And we talking to men, because boys, hey, man, they're not in this conversation. But as men, I say this, man, and I'm going to leave it that alone, but look at the people that come from the hood. Look at the Jay-Z's that came from the projects. Look at the Master P's that came from the projects, New Orleans, murder capital. Look at the Lil Waynes. Look at all these people that came from circumstances similar to ours, that rose above the bullshit. That rose above the bullshit. And I say they had to have the right mindset. That's the only thing. They had to have the right mindset. And just like I said, that's what we're missing. That's one of the main things we're missing. That's for real. You know what I'm saying? Normal life, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, we can't survive in a normal life. We can't, if you put us in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Like, we not making it, because that's a normal life. Getting up, going to work, you know what I'm saying? Raising your family, you know what I'm saying? Like, mourning y'all. That's regular manly stuff. But in the hood, regular to us was selling dope, gang banging, jacking, boosting, conning women out of their money, living off of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the men was on back then. And a bunch of the other destructive behavior that literally destroyed our community, man. That's what we was on back then. That's what we was on. We was killing back then, man. We was killing our own back then over dope spots, over corners that didn't belong to us, over hoods that we don't own nothing in. We've been doing that. We started that, man. Yeah, they pushed the dope in there, but I know people who said no to drugs. I know people like that. I know people that came from the same community, you know what I'm saying, who they mother, you know what I'm saying, went out on drugs. You know what I'm saying? They ended up staying with their grandmothers and stuff like that. Their grandmothers ended up raising them. And maybe that has something to do with it being a grandmother, but I still say you have to applaud and you have to acknowledge those people for making the right choices and making the right decisions. And that's what I had to do to get to the point in my life where I took accountability and know that I ended up here, you know what I'm saying, based on my decisions, based on my choices. So, just like I ended up here based on my choices and decisions, I can get myself out of this mentality if I choose to. But the next problem, man, cultural narratives. That's what I said, cultural narratives. And nowadays, man, the cultural narrative is we hate ourselves, man. We hate ourselves. And the media pushes that on us. You know what I'm saying? Our women, you know what I'm saying, push that on us. We hate each other. We gay. We violent. We hate women. Like I can go on and on and on. That's, you know what I'm saying, the cultural narrative and the internalized negativity, man. Because think about it. Like I said, my mother, I don't know, I don't think she know what she was doing when she telling me you look just like your ugly ass dad, or you gonna be sorry just like your daddy. And it, like I don't know if she really understood the power of her words. I really don't. So, like I said, we deal with all of that, man. We've been dealing with this. We've been dealing with people feeling some type of way about us. That's never changed, and that's never gonna change. This not about, you know what I'm saying, like making nobody else feel some type of way about us. This is about us doing what we need to be, understanding first what a man is and a man's responsibility, and then making a commitment to stand on it, man. That's what this is about. That's what this is about, man. For real. The worst part about it, man, we have so many men out here that are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally damaged. Running around out here acting like they got something to prove, man. For real. Think about it. Like with all the stuff they call us, violent, everything. Like you got a group of guys who are mentally disturbed and they running around here right now like they trying to prove that those statements right. Because we mentally messed up, man. We emotionally messed up. We've been that way. They've had, you know what I'm saying, people in the system have tried to emasculate us from day one, man. But, like Maya Angelou, man, still we rise. Still we rise. You still got men pushing through every day. I'm pushing through. And they don't like it. People don't like it. People don't like it. But I'm going to keep it real, man. As a man, I'm going to say this. There are very few real men out here in this world today, man. And this is what I'm saying. This is what my definition of real, man. It's simple as this. As a man, you came in this world by yourself. I'm going to tell you like this. The last person I felt like I had to lie to was my mother, because she could whoop my ass. That's the last person I felt like I had to lie to. Me and my mother had a serious conversation, you know what I'm saying, when I was young. She came to me and asked me, was I selling drugs? And I knew that conversation would come. I knew that they would come. But I also knew that based on me and my, you know what I'm saying, definition as a man, even at this age, I have to stand on the truth. And I have to be willing to accept the consequences for what come with that truth. So when I sat down and looked her in her eyes and told her I was selling dope, prepared for her to try to choke the tongue out of my mouth, as she say, or take me out of here like she brought me here. Like, once I did that, once I got over that fear and I looked her in her eyes and I told her the truth, I've never felt like I had to lie to a person again. That's the first foundation of being a man. And I treated it the same way when it came to women. You know what I'm saying? I stood on what was real, because it's my life. I'm a man. Whether I make the right decision or whether I make the bad decision, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, suffer the consequences. Whether I make the decision based on you or whether I make the decision based on what's best for me, I gotta suffer the consequences. So that's what I stand on as a man. It's not to make nobody else happy. It's to make sure I'm straight and to make sure I'm good and to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a man. The only thing I owe to the next person, the only thing I owe to a woman is to be real with her about who I am and about what I got going on. Meaning, if I want 2 women, nobody, if I want 4 women, nobody can tell me that I can't have that, because I'm a man. As long as I'm being honest, like, think about it. Men can have a man and a woman today. They tell a man he can be bi. So how can somebody tell you what you can and can't do? You know what I'm saying? The government say a man can be a woman these days. How can, you know what I'm saying, somebody tell you what you know what I'm saying, can do and what you can't do? That's bogus. We're not doing that. We men, we, you know what I'm saying, make up our own mind, set our own boundaries, set our own goals, and we live our life accordingly, man. That's what it's about. And once you do that, your goal is to find somebody who is your partner, who is your helper, that want to help you accomplish, or that, you know what I'm saying, wants a man that lives his life like you live. You don't have to lie to nobody about how you live your life. If you have to lie to somebody about how you live your life, you might as well be bi. You might as well be, you know, whatever it is. Because that's not what men are doing out here. So that's why I say, based on that one fact alone, men being willing to say, this is what I do, and if you're going to be with me, you're going to accept it, or if you're not, you can move on. That's the difference, and that's why I feel like there are more fake niggas in this world today, fake men in this world today, than there are real ones, man. And I stand on that. Because you boys is lying about nothing. Men don't have to do that, bro. Win, lose, or draw. But the next problem that we facing is fragmentation of the black family, man. When the family lost the head, think about this, man. Think about this. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what group or what organization or what you put together, man. Like they said back in the days, cut off the head and the body gonna die, man. The Bible said that the man is the head of the household. That man should be led by God. That's what that man should think about that. That man should be led by God. Going back to just what I said, a woman shouldn't be able to motivate him. Him wanting a woman shouldn't motivate him to lie. If he's led by God, he gonna stand on business, man. If God is a leader, he gonna stand on business. So most of us men know, we know the system has played a major role in keeping their foot on our necks, man. But one of the main strategies that they used was to empower women, man. That's one of the main problems that the system used to destroy families, man. They empower women. We know when they gave them the welfare, when they gave them the checks, it was all sweet. Like, here, you can't have no man in the house. You know what I'm saying? You can't, do none of that. Like, the government is your man. And we know that. We know how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? We know that, just like you said, we know that women screaming independent now and screaming, you know what I'm saying, they don't need no nigga because they got Uncle Sam. They got housing, they got Section 8, they got food stamps, they got all that. But let's keep it real. Because I'm an example, and I always use myself as an example. My kids, you know what I'm saying, mother didn't have to go get no welfare. My first kid's mother, she didn't have to go get no welfare. Because when she couldn't take care of him, I took him. I took him and I kept him. So she didn't have to get no welfare. She worked to get on her feet, you know what I'm saying, and did her thing. We didn't have to go to them folks for nothing. But I'm going to tell you, when I got locked up and I couldn't hold down my end, then she felt the need to go get some assistance, man. And think about this. A lot of the women, man, that went and got assistance, they went and got assistance because your ass chose not to be there and do your part. So when we say the system stacked the deck against us and it made the women, like my woman, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't have had to go to them people, man, if I didn't get myself locked up, if I didn't take myself out of the equation to where I could be helpful and support her and them kids like she needed to be supported, man. And I guarantee you, we cry now, you know what I'm saying, about child support and everything. Yeah, yes, child support is used, you know what I'm saying, by deadbeat moms who want to get back at they dad. And I went through that. But I also know too, a lot of you boys ain't taking care of y'all kids. So now they started, it's mandatory now. When they go down there and get that assistance, they asking who the daddy is. So they hitting boys. They hitting boys with that child, and they should, man, because that's them your kids. Them your kids. If you took care of them then, you wouldn't have them problems now. And that's what I be saying. So don't say the deck stacked against you, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, man, the only reason why they had to go to Uncle Sam, man, is because they couldn't come to us. That's the only reason why they couldn't go to Uncle Sam, man. If we would have been on our game, our women wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, dealing with Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's by plan, unless it's by design to get ahead. But Uncle Sam wouldn't have had to take care of our kids, man, and take care of our women if we didn't, man. For real. And the destruction of the family unit, man, that is the most important thing when that determines our downfall, that determine our downfall, man. Because your family is your power, man. Your family is your power, man. You will never find a unit, or you would never bring together a unit and build a unit that is cohesive, that work together, that love each other, that respect each other. Like, it comes with the family, man. That's the first level. That's the first level. Like, as a man, I've tried to build teams, you know what I'm saying, and do this for different businesses and different everything, man. But if you can't build a successful family, as a man, if you can't build and that's not saying you got to have no wife. That's not saying you have to have none of that. But your family, man, your kin, your kids, their mothers, they don't know what I'm saying. Like they said, man, once you have a baby with a child, that becomes your people, man. I've always looked at it like that. So for the women nowadays say, oh, well, you talk to your ex. Yes, I talk to my ex. I talk to all my exes. Yes, because we got our kids together. They well-being, I'm just concerned that they well-being because they deal with the well-being of my kids. Those are the ones who raising my kids on the daily. So if I don't make sure they mentally and emotionally straight, what kind of man am I, man? How do I really care about my kids? And just like I'm saying, I'm not saying kiss no ass. I'm not saying let no people manipulate you, man. But when people told me I couldn't see my kids, when people got to playing with me saying, oh, well, because you're not doing what I want you to do, you can't see your kid, man. I went to court and put them folks in them folks' life because you can't stop me from seeing mine. You can't. And that's any man, bro. No man, you know what I'm saying? If you walk around here now and your excuse is your kid mama won't let you see your kid and you accept that, you are not a man, bro. You are not a man. Because there are ways around that, brother. There are ways around that. I guarantee you. But like I said, man, we went through the challenges that we face, man. So far, we lack of positive role models. Those are the obstacles that we face. Systematic barriers, cultural narratives, and internalized negativity, man. That's it. The negative mindset, the mind state of the media, and the mind state of everybody is pushing on us. We dealing with that. Number 4, the fragmented family union, man. Those are the 4 things, the 4 main things that we had to deal with as men. But, brother, other people have dealt with that. Other people have overcome that to be successful. So, it's not an excuse, man. All of that is not an excuse. None of that is an excuse because all of that shit can be overcame, man. You just have to have the right mindset and the drive and determination, man. But now we're gonna talk about some solutions, man. See, this is the main thing that I say with people. Most of the people today, they want to talk about the problems and dwell on the problems. That is cool. Like, we have to acknowledge those problems because, like, what was it? AA, Alcoholic Anonymous said, before you can, you know what I'm saying, work on the problem, you have to identify the problem, or you have to be willing to admit that there is a problem. Those are our problems. But to me, talking about the problems helps us to lead to solving those problems, man. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's time out for talking. It's time for solving, man. So the number 1 thing we need to do is, as fathers, man, immediately, soon as we get off this chat, we need to start reclaiming fatherhood, man. Do you realize, as a man, think about this. And just like I said, I talk about how bad my relationship was with my biological dad. But, man, I got to a point in my life where, like I said, I've always loved myself. I've always been confident. Like, I never had that problem. I've always felt like I'm the man because I'm me. There's no other me, man. I'm an original. There's no other me. That's why I know I'm the shit. I'm the best because there's no other me, man. But I realized that, man, like, it wouldn't be no you, man, without your daddy. Regardless of how you felt, regardless of how you know what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna lie, man. I took it upon myself to reach back out to my dad, and I'm glad I did, man, because it's like I didn't have too much longer left, man, before he passed away. And I'm glad I reached out to him, and I'm glad I made the effort, man, to square away our relationship, man, and you know, put the past behind us, man. And like that's what we need to do as fathers, man. That's what we need to do as fathers. I done fell out with my kids, man. They done fell out. They been mad at me over the years, everything, man. But over time, just like I said, I never, know what I'm saying, dealt with nobody long enough for them to do something to make me not want to deal with them no more. I don't deal with people that long. So I had no problem reaching out to my kids, reestablishing relationships with my kids, trying to build a relationship. Now I'm not going in, you know what I'm saying, trying to come in and whoop nobody or tell nobody what to do if I ain't been there in forever, because I was a kid once. I was a kid. But man, we need to go and we need to start reestablishing those relationships with our kids, man, in real life. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to, you know what I'm saying, as men, our homeboys, everybody, we need to start encouraging accountability when they kids, man, and active participation, man, in their children's life. For real. It's nothing like, man, it's nothing can replace a dad. We see that now. We see that now with these young men out here, you know what I'm saying, killing, you know what I'm saying, don't know how to control their emotions, don't know how to make, you know what I'm saying, make on the proper decisions. We see our girls out here chasing love, chasing men, you know what I'm saying, and this bullshit, getting babies and everything, man, because they don't have fathers, man. They don't have fathers. And that's a major, major missing piece in a kid life, man, because we know it was a missing piece in ours. And that's what I be saying about people nowadays, man. I know what it was like not to have my father, man, when I needed him. I know what it, you know what I'm saying, was like. Even though I had a dad, I know what it like not to have, man, my biological father there. So that's something I could never do to my kids, man, because I know how I feel. And that's why I say, man, again, if you know what I'm saying, didn't have your dad around, or if you were like me and you had your dad ever tell you, yeah, I'm coming to pick you up, and never came up, you know how you felt. So if you ever did that to a child, you dead wrong, man, and you're not a man. You're not a man. Because I swear to God, I did a lot of things. I made a lot of decisions, bad decisions. I made a lot of bad choices, even when it come to my kids, man. But never, man, you know what I'm saying, I just know what I'm saying, not tried to be there. Never. Just like I said, my choices and my decisions sent me to prison. That's what I did to take myself away from my kids, man. If I was ever on solid ground, even when I was in there, I had a good enough relationship with my kid's mother to where I didn't want my kid to see me in that environment. I didn't. But like I made sure, whatever, you know what I'm saying? If I had to compromise, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying, to be in my kid's life, man. And I always have, and I always will. So if you haven't been in your kid's life, if you run around telling people, she won't let me see my kid, and you ain't did nothing about that, and you accepted that, you are not a man, brother. You are not a man. But these are some ways, man, we can start, you know what I'm saying, start talking to your kids, man. Start to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Get on their level, man. Talk to them about some stuff that's important to them. You know what I'm saying? Get into school, man. Start attending school functions. That's what I miss the most, man. I miss my parents, you know what I'm saying? I respect my mother, bro. She couldn't do it. She worked 2 jobs most of the time just to make ends meet. So I don't hold it against her. But all the award shows I had in school, all the touchdowns I scored in school, all the game-winning baskets I made, man, I celebrated that by myself, man, with my teammates or with their parents. I didn't have my parents, but my kids will tell you now, man. My nieces and nephews will tell you now, man. I know what I missed, man, as a child, and I tried to make sure they didn't miss that, man. I tried to make sure I never, you know what I'm saying, not showed up, or I never was there to take pictures and support and congratulate and all of that, man, because I know how much it meant, you know what I'm saying, me missing it. I know how much it meant, man. So I can imagine, you know what I'm saying, I would never want one of my kids to feel like that. So if you went through the same stuff as a child and you putting your kid through the same stuff as an adult, you are not a man, man. It's time to step your game up. It's time to step your shit up, man, for real. Talk to me. Now ain't nobody talking in the chat. I see y'all. Talk to me. Let me know. If I'm off, let me know I'm off. If I'm on, let me know I'm on, man. But, like I said, schedule time with your kid, man. One-on-one time. Go out, talk to your kid on the one-on-one. I'm not telling you to be no friend, because they don't need more friends. They friends is the one leading them to death and destruction, man. They need parents. But you got to meet them halfway. Get on their level, man. See what they interested in. Go out on a date, man. Take your daughter on a date. I took my daughter on a date, you know what I'm saying, when she turned 15. I took on a date and talked to her. You know what I'm saying? And I try to talk to her on a regular. So, like, come on, man. Like, start reclaiming fatherhood, man. That's number one. Start reclaiming fatherhood. Number two, if you established at home, you got a relationship with your kids, your family's straight, you know what I'm saying, y'all rocking, man, that's cool. But as a king, man, the community needs you. As a real king, as a real, you know what I'm saying, father, as a real head of the household, man, these days, we can't just be responsible for our house. We have to be responsible for our neighborhoods, and we have to be responsible for our communities, because we can train our child up to be the best child ever. But if the child down the street, you know what I'm saying, is not getting the same proper training, when your child and that child interact, man, you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems. So if you, like I said, if your household straight, if, you know what I'm saying, your household together, if you and your mate or you and your kids and everybody, y'all working as a unit, y'all have that open communication, you know what I'm saying, and everything is good for the most part, man, it's time to become a mentor. It's time to become a mentor. And you don't have to go far, man, because I look at my family and I see, you know what I'm saying, I look at the people around me and I see you that can use a male role model. I see you that could, you know what I'm saying, hold up, I got my grandbaby backing up in the background. But they need you, man. They need you, man. The community needs you, man. There are kids in your neighborhood, there are kids in your community, man, who need you, who could take some of the wisdom that you could give them, man. Take some of the advice that you can give them, man. Or just be, you know what I'm saying, somebody that they can talk to and listen to, man. That's my next move, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming this year, man, the mentorship program. It's time for us to start giving back, man. It's time for us to start helping other youth. You know what I'm saying? To figure it out. It's time for us to be the men that we needed in our life, man, for these youngsters today, man. That's what the business is. So, some simple ways, simple steps to take, man, to start becoming mentors is volunteer at your local youth program. And I'm not gonna lie, like I think we need it really, because Shreveport spas, parks and recreations, they are free. But I think that they're underutilized because we don't have enough volunteers. We don't have enough people at these facilities to supervise these kids, to educate these kids, to build some structure for these kids while they're in that environment. So if we're not doing that in those sparring environments, if they just kicking it with their friends and doing the normal stuff, it's not helping. So that's one of the things I'm looking into. To get with one of these spas rec centers or get with the city, you know what I'm saying, to start a real youth program in the community, man, to start getting these kids to meet up somewhere with us, you know what I'm saying, to start talking to these kids, man, taking part, being a part of their life, taking part in their lives, man, and showing them that basically, man, we give a damn. Because that's all a lot of them need, man, to make different choices and make decisions, just to know somebody there, man, just to know it's cool. Just to know it's cool, man. Just to know it's cool not to be hard. It's cool not to be a gangster. It's cool not to carry guns. It's cool not to fuck with drugs. It's cool, you know what I'm saying, to stay in school and do the right thing. It's cool to follow the rules and regulations at home, man. That's what separates the men and the boys, man. But a lot of these young men out here don't know that. A lot of these young men are looking at these negative role models, these gangsters, these drug dealers, these old washed up niggas that's still trying to be hard. They looking at these people, man, and they following these people. And they following these people straight to death in prison, man. For real. These days, man, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm doing it in the community, man. We have all these resources available, man. We have all these, you know, video chat groups. We have, you know what I'm saying, all these video chatting platforms to the point where you could do some mentoring, man, online. You can set up a group chat, man, and get a bunch of guys, a bunch of young boys in the group chat, man, you know what I'm saying, and talk to them as a group. Like, I got a lot of plans coming, you know what I'm saying, in the works. And any man that feel like he want to be a part of this, man, and you want to take part in really trying to get these youth, man, and change their mindset and help get them an opportunity, man, to live a better, more prosperous life, man. If you really interested in that, get at me, man. Let's make it happen. But we need to get back out there, man. We need to get back out there in the community, just like these churches. You need to get out there with the people that need you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a good, you know what I'm saying, because these kids need God, man. But you got to watch how you try to deliver God to them, because all of them ain't trying to hear it. But like I said, man, I'm kind of pressed for time, so I'm going to get on down and get on through this, man. But the number 3 solution we need to do is the brothers, the men. Bro, we go through stuff. We need people to talk to. We need support. A lot of us need to seek counseling. A lot of us need to seek psychiatry. But the one thing we need to do, bro, we can't live without, is coming together, bro, as brothers. Coming together as brothers. And I'm going to let all y'all know, I'm going to look all y'all in the face and let y'all know I'm not competing with nobody, man, because nobody can be Toby. And I don't want to be y'all. So we not competing. I've never felt like I was competing with another man because I don't want to be him, you know what I'm saying, and he can't be me. So we got to get that aside. We got to get that mindset together, that op shit, that, you know what I'm saying, man, all that shit is bogus. That shit is keeping us separated and keeping us broke, keeping us disgusted, and keeping us, you know what I'm saying, untrusted, bro. We need to come together. We need to start organizing because it's power in numbers, man. It's power in numbers. We need to start supporting each other, man. It's okay, man, to talk to, you know what I'm saying, another brother, man. It should be to let him know, man, I'm not doing good. I'm going through some things. I know we can't talk to our mates. I know we can't talk to, you know what I'm saying, too many people. It ain't too many people we can talk to because too many people don't understand what the hell we be going through. You can never talk to a woman and get her to understand what you're going through as a man. She not built to understand that. She not built to understand that, man. I realized that. I realized, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't talk to nobody around me because they didn't understand it. I had to go seek counseling, man. And that was the best thing I ever did. That's why I'm here now and I'm able to talk, you know what I'm saying, to you because I was never going to come and talk to y'all about this if I was still walking in the bullshit. I couldn't sit here with a straight face and tell y'all to do this shit or tell y'all wrong for doing certain shit if I was still doing it, man. I'm not built like that. And that's part of being a man. I had to wait until I got myself right or till I got myself a certain way down the path to get myself right before I started talking to anybody else, man. This is a part of my therapy. This helped me get my story out, you know, and I hope it helped people. But again, man, just like I said, we need to foster environments where we can discuss the struggle, man, with no judgment. And I tell my guys, I tell anybody, man, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm here. To the brothers that done reached out to me, that was going through some stuff, that reached out to me, you know what I'm saying, to talk, man. I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, confiding in me, man. And I hope I did what I could, man, to help you get right. And anytime, anything else you need, anytime you need to talk, man, I'm here. I'm here, man. And I know a few people, I know, you know what I'm saying, my brothers, I know, you know what I'm saying, the ones I can go talk to if I need to talk to, man. I thank y'all for that, man, because y'all do not know how much that means to us, man, as a man. But the number 4 solution, man, take control of your personal growth, man. Take control. Work on your mindset, man. I offer coaching courses, you know what I'm saying, mindset coaching, to help you change that, you know what I'm saying, mindset from a surviving hood mindset to a thriving community mindset, man. Work on that, man. It's on us. It's on us to get right, man. We can't expect nobody else to get us right. I realized I wasn't right mentally, man, because I wanted to kill everybody that did something to me, man. That's hood mentality. I can't carry that into the real world. That's gonna get me in prison for the rest of my life. When I realized that, man, I had to go talk to somebody. So just like I say, man, we need to prioritize education, man. We supposed to never stop learning. We need to prioritize skill building, man. Learn some skills, man. Learn how to, know what I'm saying, change, put some brakes on. Learn how to change the oil, man. Learn how to, know what I'm saying, put some sheetrock up, man. Learn how to change the light switch. Learn how to switch out a ceiling fan or hang a ceiling fan, man. Do that, man. That's part of being a man. We got to take it back to the essence, man. We got to take it back to the essence, man. Like I said, some of us that need it, seek therapy, man. Seek counseling. If you deal with personal trauma, you know what I'm saying? If you still dealing with the fact that your mom abandoned you, man, and know what I'm saying, now you have abandonment issues, man, that's an issue. That's a mental issue, man. You don't have to live with that. You don't just have to deal with that, you know what I'm saying, and go on every day. You have people, you know what I'm saying, you even have medications, man, that can help you work through those issues, man, to get yourself back balanced, to get over that, man, because that's hindering your growth, man. For real. Start setting goals, man, achieving goals. That's where it starts, man. That's where it starts. The number 5 solution, man, get back to strengthening your family, man. You ain't shit if you don't have your family, man. You one person. I add, you know what I'm saying, my wife, a girlfriend, kids, each one of them make me more powerful, man. Each one of them make me more powerful, man. Them dudes had big families back in the days, man, because those kids were their legacy, man. Those kids carried their last name. They carried those values. They carried what their father taught them, man, to the next generation. They taught that to their grandkids and their great-grandkids. What are your kids going to teach their kids about you? What are your kids going to teach their kids about you, man? You know what I'm saying? What does your kid think about you? What does your family think about you, man? I'm telling you, man. Build strong, respectful relationships, man, with your partners, man. Tell the truth. Have some morals. Have some accountability. Have some boundaries, man. Stand on those boundaries, man. Find you a woman with boundaries, man. Or a mate, period, these days. I can't even say that. Find you a mate with boundaries. Find you a mate who compliments you, man. Just like I said, if Adam, you know what I'm saying, was the worker, God got him a helper, man. If you a worker, man, and you get to work, find you a helper. You know what I'm saying? If you not doing the works, man, find you a worker. However it works, man. Find you somebody that balances you out. Y'all not supposed to be matching energy. Y'all not supposed to be the same. Y'all supposed to balance each other out, man. And teach your children values, man. Respect. Teach them the value education, man. Nothing is easier to destroy than a dumb motherfucker. Than an uneducated motherfucker. For real. No one or no person is easier to destroy than an uneducated person, man. Teach your children respect. Teach them education. Teach them to keep pushing, man, even when shit get hard. Perseverance, man. The solutions are simple, man, but they not easy. We didn't get in this mind state. We didn't get to this point, man, overnight. It took time, it took trauma, it took years of bullshit to get us to this point. So it's gonna take work, man, to get us out of this point. For real. And it take commitment, man. But I guarantee you, I'm a walking witness, man, to the point where the reward is worth it, man. The reward is worth it. I could say I feel like a whole new man, but like anybody that know me, you know, man, I move different. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is smooth, man, because I realized my purpose, man. And I got back to the basics of focusing on being a man, being a husband, boyfriend, being a father, being a leader, being a mentor, and carrying myself as an example, man, for anybody who watching. For anybody who watching. But like I said, man, we need to step up as men, man. It's time. It's past time. You want to keep being a little boy, you want to keep running around here on the bullshit, that's cool. Stay out of my lane, man. Stay out of my lane. Matter of fact, stay out of traffic because it's rough out here. But reflect on, you know what I'm saying, y'all life, man. And figure out one step that you could take, man. Call your kids. That might be the first step. Reach out to your kids. Call your kids, man. Talk to your kids. You know what I'm saying? Call your kids, man. Just like I said, if you're looking to be a mentor, man, like, and you're not interested in working with me, Google it. Google local mentorship programs. If you need counseling, man, Google counseling services near me. You know what I'm saying? Find you some help, man. Get you a book. Read your, you know what I'm saying, book, man. Watch your YouTube video. Educate yourself, man. Get your stuff together, man. Get your stuff together, man. But let me see who I got. Ain't nobody tapping in. Ain't nobody let me know nothing. I see the hearts. Didn't nobody let me know if they on or not. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But let me say this, man. We can't do this alone. Change, real change requires all of us working together, man. Let's come together, man, and work. Let's come together and work, man. For real. But like I said, man, I thank y'all for tuning in again. We come to the end of this hour. I thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody that watched the live, I appreciate you taking this hour out to rock with me. Hopefully I'm gonna be here. We'll do this again next week, man. But man, if you enjoyed the content, nobody let me know if they enjoyed the content or not. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gave me any feedback. So man, if you enjoyed the content, man, I appreciate it if you share the video. Share it with somebody you know, man. Share it, you know what I'm saying, with a man you know. Ladies, share it with the men you know who might need to hear this, man. Even if you don't want to. Just share it with, like, check this out. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all, man. I thank y'all. Thank y'all, man, for tuning in. I thank y'all, man, because without y'all, I wouldn't even be able to do this, man. So, again, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the recording later, man, I appreciate you thinking in. Fellas, it's time to step up, man. It's time to step up and get it together. Y'all have a great night, man, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.